Hello, I'm Tim Conrad, Public Information Officer with the Squamish-Lillooet Regional District Emergency Operations, and I'm here with Paula Wildbauer, Information Officer with BC Wildfire Service. We have a short update for you on the fires as well as some other important information. So first up, I'll get Paula to give us an update on the Downton Lake fire, please.
Sure, thanks, Tim. Let me just share my screen. Perfect. I think it's up. You should be able to see it now. Here is the Downton Lake wildfire. It is currently estimated to be 7,000 hectares in size. And although today we're seeing heavy smoke, this is our newest and up-to-date track that we have available. So today I'll just zoom in just a little bit more and hopefully it won't get too smoky. So you'll notice some growth here, a bit of a finger at the end of Gun Lake. We have tracked that and now have that up on as available on our maps and so on. So we have been working with our heavy equipment in this area to build a guard line. Our crews and our heavy equipment are both working there. We have day and night crews who are working on Gun Lake. And we are also building another heavy machine guard here in the saddle. They call this, there's a saddle road along here. So there's also some hand guard and machine guard in this area as well. So we have crews day and night, as well as structure protection. So they are searching for hot spots, working with our equipment operators and working with our structure protection as they move through the community, assessing properties. As we move up towards Downton Lake, this is Downton Lake right here. So we've had, in past days, we've had retardant and buckets. Obviously no buckets today, but we had been targeting this area. They have now moved heavy equipment up into this area and are building a heavy equipment guard. And crews are working along with them. We've also have our, as I mentioned, structure protection is working in the Downton Lake area. So assessing properties and triaging properties around Downton Lake. We've noticed some significant growth in the last few days up into the park here on this side of the map. So, and of course here on that Dixon Point, it's quite rocky, so not as much growth on that side of the fire, but we have seen significant growth there as well. Let me just pause for a moment. Let's see. So you're noticing for those who are from the area, they know that this is Road 40. So we are certainly challenged in that access into the area. With Road 40 being closed, but open to our BCWS emergency personnel. We certainly are seeing rocks and debris falling down onto Road 40. So absolutely that's become something that we're aware of and that we're working on and trying to tie the guard down to Road 40. To reinforce the containment line along Road 40. We have danger tree assessors and BC Hydro out around Gun Lake and also on Road 40. Danger tree assessors are taking away debris and trees that have come down today that we've been aware of. So several hazards there. Do you have any other questions, Tim?
I think that's everything. So thanks for the update. And sadly, we do know that structure losses have been identified in the Downton Lake fire area. Identification of these properties is ongoing. I've got a little bit of an update on that in a moment. Our thoughts are with those that are impacted. We ask that you keep the privacy of those impacted as a priority and do not share images of the losses, please, if you happen to have them. Next up, as far as the process for those homeowners that have been affected or structure, the people that have structures in that area, is we will begin rapid damage assessments, and that will be ahead of when property owners will eventually be able to visit the site of the structure losses. So the first step of this is to get clearance from BC Wildfire Service to enter the area. At that point, then we will have qualified people come in and complete the rapid damage assessments. We do expect that process to take several days in and of itself. Next, property owners will be contacted. And lastly, we will notify the public of what we have discovered. We will need patience as this is an active fire area, as you have just heard, and the work to be done will take over a week. So please bear with us while we work through that process. And I know it's very difficult to wait, but unfortunately, this is the challenge that is in front of us. We have a lot of things to overcome. So next up, Paula, could you tell me about the Casper Creek wildfire?
Sure. So let me just move down Carpenter Lake here, and I'll get perfect. All right. So coming down to Casper Creek wildfire, we have noticed there is growth here on the other side of Carpenter Lake. So that will be some newer information. We also are working with our BC Hydro partners along this side of the lake. There are several areas that are important to them and that they be maintained. So definitely working with our working with our partners to ensure that they can get the work that is done. However, it isn't an active fire, so being mindful of our safety concerns for all. We are working day and night crews here in the Casper Creek wildfire. We have structure protection as well on the community, and we are actively working within the community and the First Nation on triaging those homes and above the community here. So lots of active work here done. We've noticed some increased fire activity along Mission Mountain Road. That was yesterday. We had air tankers drop several bits of retardant yesterday to reduce the growth downslope. And so we've noticed today we have a lot of smoke in the area, so less downslope growth today. So that's a positive thing. But of course, today we're unable to fly and provide that bucket support or retardant that might be needed, unfortunately, to that area of the fire. Let's see. Ground crews are continue to reinforce from that retardant drop from yesterday and implementing a water delivery. So they're looking to slow the progression down further down slope, and they've got a crews and a water relay system that they're working with hose lay and sprinklers. And structure protection, as this was yesterday, this community was put on, they put themselves on evacuation order. So structure protection is working on the rest of the community above there to ensure those properties are triaged and have the appropriate structure protection. We do have night crews actively watching this wildfire. We will also be having a low-level scan of the fire of Casper Creek. So we're going to start in this area and work all the way down until the heat, is quite strong, so that they can assess any hot spots, any potential hot spots, and be able to send crews back to action those. I think that's all I've got, Tim.
Okay, thank you very much. As you have just heard, the very challenging active fire conditions in this area. Both of these fires are giving crews lots of challenges. So you can expect that evacuation orders in the area will remain in place, and there are no immediate plans for downgrades due to the dangerous conditions, road access, and loss of communication and utilities that has happened in the area. It's important to note that if you do decide to remain behind in an evacuation zone, you will not be able to receive many services at your location. Service providers are not allowed to enter evacuation order areas. And for those that are medically vulnerable, we urge you to leave the evacuation zone to be in an area where there are health services nearby. So very important information there. Please heed the warnings and leave the evacuation order areas. Paula, can you tell me a little bit about other impacts such as roads, communications, and utilities in the area? Anything that you haven't covered so far?
Sure. So some of the things I did mention them briefly, but I'll just go over. Our road access and accessibility to these wildfires continues to be a challenge within our complex. As I mentioned, we have several road closures and are utilizing alternate routes. These routes are not regular highways, so they pose hazards to our crews. Narrow roads, debris, and loose gravel continue to hamper our crews getting to the work site. So that's definitely something. BC Hydro is one of our partners. We're definitely working with them as downed power lines also add complexity to these wildfires, and we are continuing just to work closely with them so we can ensure the safety of our crews.
Thank you very much. A few things on our end. Emergency support services are now available at the Lillooet District Recreation Center from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. on Tuesday, August 22nd and Wednesday, August 23rd. Relocation of livestock is an eligible farm business, and First Nations is supported by the province during emergencies. If you can begin this process to move livestock once an evacuation alert is in place. We have information on our Facebook page and in the community updates that we are putting out. We are posting those to our website at www.slrd.bc.ca under notices, and as well as on Facebook and Twitter. So you can get some more information there. I know this isn't easy to hear or experience, but this season is unfortunately going to continue for some time. So Paula, can you give us a little bit more on what to expect in the days and weeks ahead?
Sure. So I just wanted to touch on the smoke, and I know most areas that will be watching this or maybe interested in this in their area, smoke is going to be extensive over the next 36 hours before seeing some improvement. We may see some slight improvement tomorrow. However, we do know in the province there are several fires, and that smoke can definitely float in and out. Not really expecting a whole lot of improvement for the next couple days. These reduced visibilities will hinder our aircraft operations, so that's important to know that we're not able to support our crews or wildfires with our aviation. We're expecting those warm temperatures and low RH to stay with widespread smoke. So as I said, with this increased cloud cover, it will assist in our wildfires, but we're really still seeing that they're still able to burn with real dry, fine fuels. So, and we're expecting back to normal maximum temperatures later in the week.
Sorry, tough forecast ahead, it's we need patience right now. We know that's difficult given that people have been displaced for some time and will be for a bit yet. So resources are stretched across the province. Some things may not happen at a speed that match your expectations or things that you've seen in the past. This is complex work that we're into at this point with both immediate and long-term needs for resources. So many people from within the regions and many others are doing everything they can. So I'd like to thank everyone that is supporting any aspect of this emergency response. Please, everyone, take care of yourself, support others. We will get through this. You will get through this. Thank you very much. And thank you very much, Paula.
Thanks so much, Tim.